Good morning, everybody. This is Deacon Kyle Tietz. Today we have a beautiful image from the first reading, the prophet Jeremiah, speaking of God as the potter and we as the clay that he is working. And it's kind of a beautiful image, and I'm sure many of us have tried our hand at pottery or working with clay, and it's very difficult. Now you got the table, the wheel going, you got to use both hands, you got to press the wheel to keep it turning. It's messy. You try and shape it up, but it kind of falls over. But fortunately for us, God is a professional. But I think there's three things we can learn and reflect upon about ourselves as men and women created by God by reflecting upon this image. First is that we are all made out of the same clay. We come from a simple origin, a very earthy origin. Like we hear in Genesis, God formed man out of the dust of the earth and breathed his spirit into him. And from dust to dust, ashes to ashes, from dust we came and to dust we shall return. A very humble, simple beginning. And yet we are all created on the same plane, all created equally out of the same material for God the potter. So there's an equality and a humility in our origin. The second reflection is that God will continue to reform us if we allow him to do so. And that's what we hear in Jeremiah. Jeremiah says, whenever the object of clay he was making turned out badly in his hand, he tried again, making the clay another object of whatever sort he pleased. So we can change our lives, we can improve ourselves, we can conquer sin in our lives if we allow God to reshape us and remold us. It's good to know that we're not locked in. We have the ability to change, to grow in God's love. And it's not until the end of time that we are ultimately placed in the kiln and fired and solidified. At the end of time, either the kiln of God's love in heaven, forever to live with him, or in the kiln of hell. The third reflection for us is, let's see, what is our third reflection here? Oh, that we are all handmade by God. We're not, simply a product out of some mass-produced pottery manufacturer, not made by some machine or made identical and mass-produced. God's taken the time to create each of us as a work of his hands. So there'll be a little bit of difference in each of us as God molds us and creates us. But that's where our unique and individual beauty comes in. Each of us made as a unique individual and made and desired as individual by God. So I've heard a beautiful reflection there, that God desires to makes us with his own hand, and desires us to be how we are. So a beautiful image for us from Jeremiah today, and I think all of this leads us to praise and thanksgiving to God, God who has wonderfully made us as a potter has shaped his clay. And I think we can trust today that with God as the potter and us as the clay, that we are in good hands. God bless everybody.